Okay, the first thing we do when we're recording sound is we're going to go to our Premiere program and we're going to double click on it and open up Premiere. And if you were starting a new project, you would go to File and you would click on New and you go to Project and then you would name it, just like you do in most Windows programs. But in this case, I already have sound editing set up, a program called Soundediting that I've already named. So then what we need to do is we are going to go and import some audio to work with. And then we go to the private folder that I have it in and we would grab the files, bring them in. Once we go in, we're going to work with Mr. Judah here, and we just point on that and we drag him over to the timeline. It's important to note up here at the top, we've got several different things: assembly, learning, color, effects. They're all basically the same thing and you can edit in any of them. They just allow you to have quicker access to different accessories. For instance, if you want to do graphics, it'll bring the graphics up here on the side so that it's easier to pull them up. Or if you want to do effects, it'll give you different effects on the side, and you could, say you want to do transitions, you just go in there and find, a multitude of different transitions to work with. So right now, the best thing when we're editing sound is to either work in editing or assembly. My preference is to work in editing. We're going to go ahead and listen to Mr. Judah here.
My name is Judah Whitmer, and I am 15.
Okay, so we want him to say, my name is Judah Whitmer and I'm 15. So the easiest thing to do is we go over to our tools on the side and we grab the razor, and we're going to listen back here for a second and then say how old you are.
Judah Whitmer, no, okay.
So we're going to, another big thing to do first so that we can get both pieces is we're going to use our lasso, our pointer, and just put it around both pieces. And then we're going to use the razor and clip. Then we go back to the pointer and we can delete. Oop. If you do that, it's really easy. You just hit edit, undo, and ta-da, they're back. And then we can just get rid of the pieces we want to get rid of. By the way, I'm doing this one-handed with a baby in the other hand. So anyway, so you highlight those, hit delete, and then you've got your new.
My name is Judah Whitmer, and I am 15.
So if you want to be able to see Judah a little bit better, it's really easy. All we have to do is pull this up and we can see the video easier. And for this purposes with sound, we're going to pull this down a little bit, which helps you to see the sound better for Judah. Now, I like to keep things neat and tidy, so I'm going to pull this down to the end, just lasso it and pull it down. Now we're going to listen to what Judah has to say and find something else we want to combine with it. Eventually I'm going to edit B-roll over this, so it doesn't matter if there are what we call jump cuts right now. The thing about Premiere is there's always at least 2, if not more, ways to do what you want to do. So up here in Edit, you could also use Cut up here and make the cut, which would work just the same. Oops. I've got a baby helping me. So you can use the only thing that you have to remember to do is that when you're making your cuts and using these or whatever you want to do using the file, oh baby stop, is you want to make sure that you've highlighted whatever you want to work with. So we're going to listen to Judah real quick here.
And I am 15.
So we know our first cut's going to be right there, where I am 15. Look, baby. Okay. So we're going to cut, just get our razor and make the cut, and we can make the cut up here as well. Double check to make sure it's there. So I'm going to drag this out so I can see him better, what's going on. We actually just wanted him to say, my name is Judah Whitmer and I'm 15.
Is Judah Whitmer, and I am 15.
Okay, perfect. Now we're going to go and we're going to cut, and the same thing, cut right there. Now we're going to get our little razor out. We can just, all I'm doing is hitting delete. Now we're going to listen to what Judah has to say here.
I came to TBH just around a year ago.
And tell me a little bit about what you enjoy.
In TBH, I enjoy acting, and I especially enjoy improv.
Okay, so we're going to take that cut right there where he says, in TBH, I enjoy acting and I especially enjoy improv. So we're going to take this and scrub it back over.
And
there are also little arrows on your keyboard, the 4 arrows at the bottom of your keyboard, and you can go back frame by frame to get what you want if you need to. So in this case, I'm going to lasso this so I can hear him better. And then I'm going to make my cuts, cut the picture, cut the sound, go back to my pointer, believe.
in TBH, I enjoy acting, and I especially enjoy improv.
Okay, so we can delete that, and then now we want to drag Judah over to have his 2 things back to back. And we'll listen to that and see if it sounds all right together.
And I am 15. In TBH, I enjoy acting, and I especially enjoy improv.
Okay, sounds pretty good. So we would take this, probably make another cut here, another cut here. We'll continue to listen.
In improv, we worked a little.
Okay.
In improv.
Okay, we want to back that up just a second. You can also kind of see, if you look right down here, you can see the difference. You can see where I'm talking, I'm a little bit lower and further away. So we've got Judah right here. We need to go back. I forgot to loop. There we go. Oh, we did get the loop. And again, we're just going to delete this. Oops. Edit, undo. And if you need to slide, this not only slides open and close, it also slides back and forth. So we'll get rid of that. We'll just click and pull Judah down.
By improv. In improv, we worked a little bit on stage combat, and that was really interesting because I also do Taekwondo. I've got a 2nd degree to black belt in that. And it was really interesting doing that along with stage combat, as it showed like how different it is in movies and stuff like that compared to how it is in real life.
Okay, so we're gonna end that right there. As you can see, we're just cutting again, and then we're gonna get rid of the rest of this. And we'll say that that is our clip for right now. Now, one of the things that you'll want to do before you do anything else is, see at the top here, there's a yellow line. That means that this isn't rendered yet. And in Premiere, we always have to render our video. And so we want to render before we do anything else. Whoops. I'm getting help from my toddler here. Oops. Can I have that back? No, I need it back. Okay, so in order to render it, the easiest way to render something is we can go up to sequence, and then we can render into out. And so that's just going to render it from in to out, and you'll notice that as it renders, this little bar up here turns green.
My name is Judah Whitmer, and I am 15. In TBH, I enjoy acting, and I especially enjoy improv. In improv, we worked a little bit on stage combat, and that was really interesting because I also do Taekwondo. I've got a second degree to black belt in that. And it was really interesting doing that along with stage combat as it showed like how different it is in movies and stuff like that compared to how it is in real life.
Okay. And the reason that that video is moving around is I'm trying to get a new angle on him while we're talking because, of course, we're going to be putting some audio over him, or we're going to be putting some B-roll over him. But before we do that, say we wanted, Judah was talking and we didn't like the way Judah's voice was sounding. It was not hitting the right marks.
Worked a little bit on stage combat, and that was really
which
interesting.
it really isn't. So if we look over here on the side meter, when we edit for TV, we want the volume to hit right here at about -12. So we want it hitting right here on this -12, between -12 and -9. So right in between here, but as close to 12 as we can. So Judah's not quite hitting that, and that's fine because of the way we talked about last week about how we have to bring the monitors down in the cameras because the cameras don't have that great of a sound monitor. But that's all right because the mics are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So what we do is we go and we highlight whatever we want to be using. By the way, one of the things you can also do, a shortcut when you're editing, if you just want to capture a certain part or if you just want to render a certain part, is you're going to hit I at the beginning or for an in, and then you see how the screen lights up all gray and it'll go on forever. And then when you get to the part where you want to end it, hit O. And then after you do that, your sequence editor will render it just to that in and out.
My name is Judah Whitmer, and I am 15.
You can also hit
and TBH, I
Control
enjoy
C.
acting, and I especially enjoy improv.
Okay, so Judah's sound is a little bit what we call low, as you can see.
Judah Whitmer, and I am.
So one of the things you can do is you can go in here after you've highlighted it. You can go in here and you can move this bar up or down. So that's kind of like the less advanced way to edit sounds. So let's listen to it now.
Whitmer, and I am 15.
So he's still pretty low there. So we're going to bring him up some more.
My name is Judah Whitmer, and I am 15.
So Judah is still pretty low. Let's just keep going.
Whitmer, and I am 15. My name is Judah Whitmer, and I am 15. And
So,
TBH, I enjoy acting. And
so now he's hitting closer to that 12. He's a little bit lower than 12, but he's peaking basically at about 12, which is where we want him to peak. As he begins to talk some more,
I am 15. And TBH,
he
I enjoy
his
acting.
sound will vary, so we can't just push it up like this. I think if I do this, you should be able to see, especially the further we go. So let's listen to him right here.
We worked a little bit on stage combat, and that was really interesting because I also do Taekwondo. I've got a second degree to black belt in that.
So sometimes what you want to do is say we've got Judah all the way up here and he's sounding lovely.
And I am 15. And TBH, I enjoy acting, and I especially enjoy improv.
So one of the things that happens with that is you see it's spiking a little bit more around the 9 than it should be. So if we want to make his voice sound better, we can go in and we can take these little dots and we can place them on the screen. It just wherever the cursor, wherever the line cursor thing is, we just do like this. And then we can bring things down, we can bring things up, we can move them around however we want to. Say he did a cough in the middle of that and we wanted to get rid of the cough, we might take and put a number of these little dots in, and maybe we dip it down like that so that we don't hear the cough or it's not as loud. So it would sound like this.
I enjoy acting, and I especially enjoy improv. Judah Whitmer, and I am 15. And TBH, I enjoy acting, and I especially enjoy improv. In improv, we worked a little bit on stage combat, and that was really interesting.
Now, say that you want to export the sound when you're finished. Um, the easiest thing to do is just like pretty much any Windows file. You're going to go up to File. You're going to, of course, save it. Make sure you've got it saved. And then you're going to go to down and you're going to hit Export Media. And you'll do things, most things will be done in QuickTime. And then you'll also see there's a drop down menu and it says, it gives all these different kinds of, choices. We like Apple ProRes 422. We don't need to do anything else. We don't need all those fancy things. This one, as you can see, has an output name that we don't like. It's confusing, doesn't make sense. So we can go in and change it to just say Sound Edit. And then we'll hit Save. Then we have to go down to, other things to look at in here. Of course, we want our video to be at 1920 by 1080. We do it at 29.9 frames per second. Progressive is the way we want this to look in the field order. The best kind of pixels for American TV are square pixels. And so then we... and then up here you can see it's at 48,000 hertz. And those things are often set up for you. That's sample rate, 48,000. That's pretty normal. So usually you don't need to change that. Anyway, go down to Q and then we hit export. So it's exporting it for us. And once it exports, we're not quite finished. There's one more step. It's encoding. Your video was exported successfully. Okay. Then we have to go to the QuickTime. This will normally pop up for you. Then you have to hit this save, and then you'll see this little green thing right here, little green arrow. And if you hit it, it will export it rendered and lovely and put it on your desktop or wherever you've asked it to be saved. Okay. And that's pretty much how you edit sound. Of course, with this piece, we would also add video over it as some B-roll. But those are the basics of sound editing for the moment.